Hi, this is Oxy. You're welcome to my channel. This is Locks and Chronicles. If it's your first time, you're very welcome. On this channel, I discuss social work. I sometimes showcase my locks, although it's been a while. And I take you through my chronicles as an immigrant in the UK, originally from Nigeria. So this is kind of what you can expect on this channel. Sometimes I mess about and do videos with my husband or with my family. You're very welcome. Today's video is a continuation of another video that is the NHS Band 6 mental health interview questions and the answers, or how I answered those questions. It's very important for me to state very clearly, because I don't think that I made this very clear in my last video, that I have had two interviews, and I was successful in both interviews. So these questions are a mixture of what I had in both interviews, although more related to my previous role, which is in the mental health access hub. Some people know this as the crisis team or the home treatment team. Some of it with the job that I now do now, working with people with diagnosis of psychosis or at risk of psychosis. So, because those questions are more specific, some of those questions in the latter interview are more specific to psychosis. I've sort of looked at them all and done a mixture of both interview questions and answers. But if you want me to do a video specifically on questions relating to how I got the job in the psychosis team, known as the early intervention in psychosis team, then please let me know and I will be happy to do that. So if you haven't watched the first video, please watch that first and then come back to watch this one. And let me know if this is helpful. Let me know. So where we stopped last week, I'm going to continue straight from there. But before I carry on, I'm going to mention very quickly, when I answered the question about the older adults, the question about what are the peculiarities of working with older adults, I forgot to mention, I'm not sure if I mentioned about me also mentioning at that interview, saying that mobility issues could also be something common with older adults. This is not to say that younger people or younger adults do not experience mobility issues, but this is just to say that this might be more prevalent or more common in older adults, and this can lead to issues or be responsible for issues such as not getting to the toilet in time, falls, being at risk of falls, and just adding more to the confusion which you have to be aware of in the way that it can impact on mental health, or how a patient presents with mental health difficulties. So that's just a quick add-on to that question, or to that answer, that I did not remember to mention. So continuing today will be the question, what do you understand by equality? I'm not going to spend so much time on this, because a quick Google search will tell you the answer to this one. So if you're looking for a job with any trust within the NHS, I think you should expect this question, because it will definitely be one of the core values of any trust that you are applying to within the NHS. So remember to say that it doesn't mean that you have to treat everyone equally. It just means that you have to be fair. One size does not always fit all. Again, remember the person-centered approach. You have to treat people with respect, treat people fairly and according to their needs. So quick Google search, as I said, will help you develop that question a bit more. And then the next question would be, what do you understand by diversity? I think you can expect this question in any area of social work, or in fact any most jobs that you would apply for in the UK, because this is a really big one. And For me, I never really answered this question by textbook standards, although a quick Google search again will be really helpful for you if you're not really sure what this is. But I'm sure if you're a social work student or a newly qualified social worker, you would have done a lot on diversity whilst you're in the university or whilst you're studying for your social work degree. I always start this question, anywhere I'm asked this question, I always say diversity is a beautiful thing and we have to celebrate diversity. Remember, your anti-oppressive, your anti-discriminatory practice, all of that has to come into play when you're answering this question. So this question covers, diverse things. It covers race, ethnicity. It covers class. It covers gender. It covers sexual orientation. It covers disability and everything else that you can add on to it. So this question, the way you answer this question is that we have to respect everyone that we work with, that we support, that we come across, irrespective of whatever, class, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation. You have to accept, you have to celebrate the difference, because that's what makes it beautiful. You have to practice in an anti-oppressive and anti-discriminatory way, irrespective of how anyone identifies or presents themselves or represents themselves. So that's how to answer that question in a nutshell. Please do a bit more research. Another quick Google search will help you answer that question in more detail. Next question, where I might be spending a bit more time, which is why I'm going through this very quickly, is I was asked to explain a scenario where there is a 7-year-old and the adult or the parent, the carer or the guardian in the household has been self-harming or has had an episode of self-harming. So they were asking me to describe what I would do if I had come across, or if I come across this scenario in the future. Remember, if you're looking for a job within a mental health setting as a social worker, risk assessment is a very big thing. You have to read your risk assessments. You have to know, you have to understand what this means. And I don't know, I think there's a lot happening about transitioning and the care program approach, but you have to remember that risk assessment will always be a constant thing, and this was how I answered the question. I mean, I'm not able to take you through it in full, but yes, I did describe a situation where, an adult who was self-harming, who was very depressed and low in mood, who'd experienced some traumatic events, had a young person at home. So it was easy for me to answer this question. You have to think, first of all, safety, the child's safety, because if something was happening, it is very unlikely that a 7-year-old will be able to do something meaningful to help themselves, maybe apart from speaking to someone in school if they are a child to 7-year-old. So if I come across that situation, or if you come across that situation, you have to think about this child. One, you have to ask, have they witnessed this? Or has the parent or the guardian or the carer or whoever the adult is in the house, have they done this away from the child? If the child has witnessed this, then the risks are higher. You have to think of the child. In any of the cases, you have to still contact the Safeguarding Hub for Children, and in Coventry we call it MASH. I think that's Multi-Agency Safeguarding Hub. I'm not quite sure, because we call it MASH. I think that's what it is. You have to contact child safeguarding. You have to run this past them, and you have to put in a referral. You have to, before you do this, you have to explain to the adult that you're going to be making this referral, and you have to explain why you're going to be making the referral. You have to explain that your intention is not, because a lot of people, when they hear you making referral to children's services, they are so worried. You have to say that the referral is not so that anything malicious can happen. It's not with the intention of the child even being removed, although you cannot guarantee that this is what's going to happen or not, but that in the situation where they are, they have to also think about the child and the safety of the child, which is paramount. And you have to, as a worker, as a social worker, be able to reassure the parent that this is so that the child can get the appropriate support that they need. And then you go ahead and make that referral. Even if they do not consent to you making that referral, you have to make it clear to them that you still have to. And as much as possible, try and explain to them in a way that they can see the reason why you have to do this as a professional, so that you're still able to develop that relationship and still be able to support them as the adult. So when this referral has been made to MASH, what about the adult? So now there's an adult self-harming. You have to check the reason why they are self-harming. Is it with the intention to hurt themselves, maybe to release some emotions, or is it with the intention actually to end their life? So depending on whatever they tell you, you have to look at what I want to say weapon, but not weapon, what the tool was that they've used to hurt themselves, whether it be taking an overdose, whether it be cutting themselves with a knife, a blade, or whether it be burning themselves. You have to ask them if they are willing and happy for you to remove whatever tool they've used from them, if they're consenting. Remember, if they're not consenting, even if you try to remove it, that's you acting against their wish. And also they can go out and just buy another one. So you have to explain to them what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, basically to keep them safe, so that you're then able to offer them appropriate support. And in most cases that I have come across, if you explain and you build a good relationship, a good rapport as you're helping this patient. Sorry, I keep saying patient. In mental health setting, we call our clients patients mostly. So you have to explain to them the reason you have to remove or try to help them remove whatever tool they've been using to hurt themselves, and let them also know that this is showing that they're willing to engage with the support, which will all come as a plus for them, even with children's services. They are trying to engage with support and seek the appropriate help. You have to do your risk assessments paperwork. In my own case, I don't know what it is called in your where you work. So I said I have to complete a STORM assessment, which is an assessment we complete when someone is expressing any suicidal or self-harm ideation, to be able to understand the level of the risk. And if you're completing this assessment and you feel that you need to escalate it, then you need to escalate it. If you need to call for a mental health act assessment, then that's what you're going to do. But if you feel that maybe this can be managed by the home treatment team or the mental health access hub and the home treatment team, which used to be known as the crisis team, then you make a referral to them. If you feel that they need a long-term support, then you have to be sure that they're open to the right community mental health team who will be able to offer them the support that they need. So you also have to involve, if they consent, family and friends that they trust and they feel are able to support them. You have to build a network of support, and writing these things down and sharing a copy with the patient will also help them, because when they're in that state where they're thinking and being so overwhelmed, and instead of them thinking, oh, I'm going to go and hurt myself now, they've got something to look at which might actually be able to help them. And also on that document, you would have written the relevant contacts that they can call if they're in distress or feeling overwhelmed or not able to keep themselves safe. So this is a lot, and you might need to watch this video over and over again for you to understand. And this is not me answering fully. This is me trying to be quick. So if you have any more question about this, please ask me. I do not want this video to go too long. And I think I was asked, I'm not sure if this question is still being asked now, but this was a year ago, and I was asked about a year ago. I was asked, how will you continue to manage the challenges of COVID? So COVID came with a lot of challenges, and during COVID, a lot of people started using illicit substances, alcohol. People took to alcohol, people took to drugs. People became so isolated. People's mental health became, worse. People's mental health deteriorated. People's physical health also deteriorated because they were not able to see doctors face to face or physically, and this in turn had an impact on their mental health. And this is still ongoing. We're still seeing people who, because of COVID, are now open to the mental health system. So you showing an awareness of that, and you being able to acknowledge that in a way that you're able to offer support, will show that you understand that COVID and its difficulties is still impacting upon people's lives, and that you might come across this. This was how I answered that question. And then I was asked a question about DBS, and if I have any convictions, any cautions from the police, and if I would be willing to pay my DBS fees yearly. And of course I said yes, even though I'm not happy that I have to pay my DBS working for the NHS. But I said yes, because you don't want to you don't want to be raising any kind of dust, unnecessary dust. So this will be the concluding part of this series of the NHS interview questions and how I answer them. If you have any suggestion on how to maybe better answer some of the questions, or things that I might have missed because I'm rushing and doing a video, please leave them in the comments. If you have any question relating to this video, please leave it in the comment section. If it's something more personal, more private, please make sure that you leave a comment here first under this video, and then you can come to me in my DM on Instagram, Logs and Chronicles, and I will be very happy to answer your questions. And if I don't know, I'll say I don't know, and if I can find out for you, I will help you as much as I can. Okay, so I hope you find this helpful. If you're preparing for an interview and that's what's made you come across this video, I wish you the very best. Go and smash it, because why not? Don't worry, we'll be talking about band 7s and band 8s soon. Alright, always remember that I really, really do love you, and I wish you the best. Till I see you next time, peace and love.